Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome into another edition of Teague's Take Podcast with George Teague alongside George and JT. I am still IndyCar Tim, and we welcome all of you wherever you are and however you are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or if you've downloaded the recorded podcast. We appreciate you folks too. Make sure you reach out to George on Twitter at Teague Football or at Teague's Take is the podcast. JT is at Teague13. I am at IndyCar Tim. We appreciate all the correspondence and the interaction we have with everybody that's listening, asking George all the questions. If you want to reach out to the show right now, if you're watching live, you can just hashtag Teague's Take on any of the social media or just comment right there on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, and we'll see the comments. And if it's good enough, we'll put it up and we'll talk to you. But first things first, boys, we have a very special guest on the phone. Former Florida State standout, two-time national champion, Dallas Cowboys draft pick, and a current assistant coach on the high school ranks out there at Rockwall Heath. We welcome to the show Mr. Mario Edwards, or should I say Rio Edwards?
Hey.
Welcome, brother.
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man. And I just like to say, first of all, man, I appreciate the theme song you guys brought me out on. All eyes on me, Mario Edwards. I love it. I love it.
I can see you dancing, even though I can't see. I think I can remember a couple of moves that you might have had back in the day, but you probably don't have that kind of rhythm no more. But
well, you said it right, a couple, because that's about all I had. One or two good moves, man.
Well, yeah, we're very glad you're on, man. We do appreciate you coming, taking some time, and man, I forgot you and JT were talking a little bit earlier about some old family stories, and man, y'all took me way back with that one. So thanks again for coming on, brother.
Hey, man. Well, listen, I'm glad that you thought enough to invite me and have me on. And talking to JT, man, how fast time flies. And we were kind of talking about a get-together that you had at your place, and you had a couple of fellas over, and we had, our kids out there playing in the pool. But my kid couldn't swim. My kid couldn't swim, man, and we almost lost him out there in the pool that day, along with JT, because he said if he was going under, JT was coming with him.
Well, JT, you remember that, man?
Yeah, I do. I remember more details because I don't think they were paying attention. So the pool in South Lake had a shallow end and a deep end, and we had wandered out into the deep end. And I don't know if Aunt Tess is listening yet, but Mariah was actually the one in the pool at the deep end, and I want to say she might have been 7 or 8 at the time, and Mario Edwards Jr., who was not in the pool at the time, decided that if this 7-year-old little girl can swim out the deep end, he could swim out in the deep end. So he looked at Mariah, decided he was just going to jump in. He jumped in, panicked, decided that he wasn't going to make it, and tried to use me as a flotation device. And I don't remember who pulled me out of the pool. I don't remember if I was able to just struggle to the side and hold on to the edge while he was on my back. But that is definitely and it was July 4th. I remember this. And I think about it every July 4th. Your son almost killing me in the pool.
But JT, I tell you, man, you just a little bit about you, man. I mean, you've always been competitive. You fought for your life that night, for real, man. You really fought for your life that night.
Well, you can see that. There you go. You see Aunt Tessie in the chat. So make sure, Tessie, that you tell Mariah we love her. We'll blame it on her. It was her fault for being such a I guess. But anyway, man. So listen, you got a lot of stuff going on, Mario. We played together. You know, you've coached at high level. You're coaching now. Man, you want to kind of give us a quick rundown on what you're up to, what you got going on these days?
Well, I'm just getting back from Florida State. Jimbo Fisher brought me in, and he did his tenure there and left for A&M, and which he's doing a great job there. They're lucky to have him. Coach Willie Taggart came in and took over. They retained my services there, and he was there for a year and a half. Once he was released, they didn't renew my contract, so I'm asking myself, what am I going to do? Well, the answer to that question was easy and simple. I was going back home, and I had a son. Right now, I have a son who will be a freshman in high school next year. So I was going to come back home and have an opportunity to coach him. I think he's going to be a pretty special player. He works his butt off. He's super talented, but more importantly, he's a big-time competitor, man. So I brought it back home to Texas and ended up being at Rockwall Heath High School, and that's where we reside right now. We're in an off-season program, and let me just tell you, we got a pretty doggone good team in the making, man. Not only a team, what Coach Spradlin is doing over there is building a program, and it's coming together quickly. We're able to go 4 rounds deep in the playoffs this year, and looking forward to build up on that in the years to come.
Yes, sir. What position your son play? This one.
Oh, he's a defensive back too now. Gianni's a defensive back. Been working his butt off. He played at Kane Middle School last year. He was 102 pounds now, and that doesn't sound sexy, 102 pounds. But what was sexy to me is that he didn't matter how big you were. We had him at safety, Teague, and he would come down and just undress you. So his mother and I decided that if we got him over here with me, this is where he should be, man, over here with me. And who better to help groom a defensive back than his dad, who has done it on every level and had pretty good success. So that we made the transition over here, man. He's put on about 20 pounds. So, he's feeling himself now, and steady work. And he got an opportunity as a freshman to be on the varsity team. So he's big time excited, and I'm excited to have this time with him too.
Sure. So I got 2 questions. One of them for somebody else and one is for me. So I want you to answer them both if you can. One is from Craig. You can't see it. Craig Young says, why don't you come on over to Titletown? Meaning, how come you don't try to go ahead and get on with Nick Saban and the Crystal Tide? But my question is, so I want you to answer both though, is since you played at Florida State, y'all don't do but one coverage out there, man. Y'all play man-to-man press. Is that all you teaching your guys at Rockwall Heath? Or you got these guys playing some off? Can we get some cover 3 or we just straight 0 across the board the whole game? What we doing, man?
Hey, well, that first question, man, going back to Tuscaloosa or going to Tuscaloosa, I mean, I've had a couple of opportunities to do a few things, man, but I'm going to sit tight for at least the next 4 years and help develop Gianni and get him off to his next level, what his endeavors, what he'd like to do. Secondly, you're absolutely right. We played one coverage at Florida State when I played, and it was bump and run, jet robber. Okay, that jet robber. Defensive ends jetting up the field. All right, you got a robber or a rover safety that's robbing the post. All right, and corners you hold up on the outside. But in order for that to work, man, you got to have pass rush, and we played 4 down and we had plenty of that. But these days, Tig, I mean, with the spread offense, you got 3 receivers, 4 receivers out there, sometimes empty set. You can't just line up and play straight up bump and run across the board all night long. Offenses have gotten too good for that. So we play a plethora of coverages. We do play some zero coverage. We do play some cover 1, but quarters and cover 2 are primarily what we like to do. So we're a multiple front with multiple coverages, and we've had pretty good success doing that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So Mario, real quick, kind of along those lines, you had quite a bit of experience here at Florida State. I know you were at Billy Ryan High School, just not a stone's throw from where I live here, just about right down 380 here. So you go from high school at going to Florida State as an assistant and the director of player development. What's it like going from the college ranks, especially being there for so long like you were? What's the challenges that you face going from the college ranks, helping to develop college age kids and college players, getting them ready for the pros, when you go down a level to the high school level, and now you're trying to get kids prepared to go play in college? What kind of challenges do you face there?
Well, Tim, I think to me it's all pretty relevant. I mean, you're dealing with young men and you're dealing with motivated young men. They all want to be the best that they can be on whatever level they're on, and they're all trying to advance to that next level. So if you're at Florida State, and you're playing good ball or you have endeavors to play pro ball, that's your next step. And so you're working your butt off to get there if that's in the cards for you and you're talented enough. Well, when you're in high school, you have those same endeavors to make it to that next level. And the next level for a high school player is college football, whether it's Division I, whether it's Division II, III, whatever level that is, whatever that skill set is and that talent level is. So for me, it's just all about developing relationships and finding out what each individual's goals are, no matter what level you're on, if that's high school or college. And that's what I was able to do as player development at Florida State. And it really helped me out a lot because I left Denton Ryan to go to Florida State. So I had an opportunity to work with high school athletes there, football players at Denton Ryan. And so I just took what I learned at Denton, took it to Florida State, and then what I learned there 9 years at Florida State, I brought it back. And what I found out was each individual, each young man wants to be the best that they can be on whatever level they're on. And they're all aspiring to take it to the next level. So the transition, it's easy once you understand that. They just want to be the best that they can be on whatever level they're on, and they all want an opportunity, if they're good enough, to make it to the next level.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you doing that. So are you taking what are we doing? Are you doing bicycle steps or are you doing the T plant? What kind of footwork you got them guys doing, homeboy?
Well, me personally, when I was coming up in high school and in college, it was the bicycle. It was the bicycle. And now, as a player, and watching and studying the game, I like the T-step. That works better for me. And my rationale behind it all is this, and I'm going to give you some good game, some free game for anybody listening, any aspiring DB coaches. Number one, you don't want to make all your players cookie cutter players. Some players can bicycle step. Some players can T-step. But my rationale behind it all, and I like to coach the T-step, and the reason being is I maybe have 8, 9, 10 spikes under the bottom of my cleat, okay? I want to get every spike I can in the ground. T-step allows me to do that. If I bicycle step, then I'm only getting the top 2, 3, 4 cleats or spikes in the ground. And so if you're playing on a wet surface, it's an opportunity to slip. If you take too much of an elongated plant step, it's an opportunity for you to slip. So I like the T-step because it's giving me an opportunity to be forceful, drive every spike I've got in my cleat in the ground and make a transition.
Well, that's funny that you said that because I was the same way. I grew up doing the bicycle step. I was doing the bicycle even when I first got into the league. I didn't change until I got to the Dallas Cowboys. And Kevin Smith is the one who actually, I saw him doing it so much. I was like, man, tell me about this stuff. And he just started giving me the rhythm of how it's supposed to sound and what it could do. And I switched at that point. And I wish I would have did it before because my big toe probably wouldn't be hurting the way that it is now. Damn bicycle having toe hurts, man. Good Lord.
Hey, man, you mess around and have to drink some cherry juice. You mess around and get gout in that big toe, man.
Mm-hmm. So you watch? I know you play with them and stuff. You following the Cowboys, man? You watching what's going on with those secondary guys at all, or in the league at all?
To be honest,
Secondary.
with you, Georgia, I mean, I've every now and again I may have an opportunity to catch a game, but I'm so into what we're doing here on the college level, high school level, and just trying to help establish this program here. I very seldom have an opportunity to keep up with what the Cowboys are doing now. I still enjoy, being in Dallas. I still enjoy my Cowboys. I mean, I'm still am a Cowboy fan, and I apologize, but I really haven't had the opportunity to really just hone in on exactly what they're doing over there.
You ain't missing nothing.
You ain't missing nothing right now.
No, that's why you need to pay attention though, because we're trying to find someone to go in there and get this thing right, man. Because we had some of the people playing your old you and Terrell Buckley style of play, just getting 10 yards off, playing flat-footed.
Except they was getting run by.
Yeah, they get run by.
You better have a pass rush. You better have a pass rush if you're doing that, man. I mean, a hell of a pass rush,
Yeah, they don't.
But they don't. They don't.
So yeah, you might want when after your 4 years up, down here with your son. And by the way, if you hadn't heard about this high school called John Paul II, we'll be sure to talk about that a little bit later on. Anyway, I had to throw that in.
Quiet as kept, T. I do follow high school ball, especially ball in the Metroplex. And yeah, I understand you guys making some noise over there, and you guys have some big time talent over there too now. And so that's two things. That's you. People want to come play for a program that has a head coach that's established, that knows what he's talking about, not just talking about, but he's speaking from experience because he's been there, done that. And you have people who want to come and be a part of that. So the success you guys are having, the talent you guys are bringing there, I mean, it's a lot to do with who's there and who's running the program. So let's not take that lightly, man.
You might as well look around in our area. And I'm not trying to sell you one way or another. I'm saying this to tell you that now Jason Witten, so I'm sitting, you can't see it, but I'm sitting at Liberty Christian School in Argyle. Jason Witten just took the head coaching job over here. We're going to match up and play a game next year because they're in our district. We actually had another. I mean, he's got Donald Driver over here. I don't know if you would have played against Donald Driver.
Yes. I remember D Drive.
Yeah, his son's over here. I mean, we got a lot of pro players, kids in our league as well. So I don't know. It'll be fun, man. But you keep doing what you're doing, man. It's I'm just glad that you're giving back to these kids the way that you are. Kind of like your boy Dion, man. Did you call him, give him his mad props about winning his first game? Did you give him a shout?
Well, you know what? We spoke briefly. You know, I'm gonna congratulate him. He's done one heck of a job up to this point, and I expect him to do a spectacular job throughout his tenure there at JSU. I mean, he's always wanted to coach on the collegiate level. JSU gave him an opportunity, and as Dion always does, he's going to take advantage of his opportunity to make the best out of his opportunity. And I expect nothing less than that. I'm super duper proud of him, and I'm looking forward to him doing great things. Actually, trying to find out a time and a date that I can go out and catch one of those games. I'd like to take little Gianni out there and just let him get a chance to watch some college football on any level, but an opportunity to go watch some of that Mississippi football. You know, that's where I'm from. I'm from the SIP. So an opportunity to watch some of that good Mississippi football, man, with some good talent out there. I mean, he's recruited some great talent out there, and he's got some coaches on staff that can develop that talent. So looking forward to watch him do nothing but great things out there.
It's funny you said that because I actually called Kevin Mathis 2-3 days ago and told him me and Consuelo wanted to come out to a game, and he said, "Man, come on out." You know, one of the things we're going to be talking about in the second half of the show is our FCS playing spring football now, and what that kind of looks like. But you know, it's weird to me, you know, seeing these guys play right now. It's February, and these cold weather teams. I don't know how they're doing it, you know, but whatever. That's their choice. That's their choice. All right. Well, you got any good stories you need to tell? What's the one funny story you got about Prime? Something. I know you got something on him that or maybe it don't have to be funny. Maybe he gave you some words of advice. Maybe he gave you some words of advice.
I mean, you know, there's so many stories you can talk about, D, man. I mean, he's a solid guy, real good dude. I mean, one story though, I was at Florida State 2 years ago, and the special teams coach said that he's a big Dion fan, like so many people are. But he mentioned that he said, man, Dion's supposed to be coming up here to do a camp. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, man, I got a story about Prime, and he calls him Prime. I got a story about Prime. He said, man, I went to a concert. He said, and he was in concert, and he was singing "Must Be the Money." He said, man, he got down at the edge of that stage, he diamond Rolex, and put his hands in the crowd. He said, man, his ring, somebody took the ring off his finger. He said, oh, wait a minute. Wait, whoa, stop the music. Stop the music. Somebody out there got my ring, and we ain't going to start this concert until I get it back. He said, about 30 seconds went by. Somebody said, yeah, it is. Take out your ring. Gave his ring back. Hey, he told the DJ, kick it. Diamond Rolex. He paid us on my feet. But I'm like, that's Dion, man. I mean, he's that type of guy, and he has that type of luster to him. I mean, he stopped the whole concert. I mean, a diamond ring they took off his finger. And he stopped the concert and said, we will not proceed until you give me my ring back. 30 seconds later, here you are. Kind of reminds me of that box somebody stole in Jackson State, right? I mean, he says, man, he wants his boombox back, and less than 24 hours, his boombox shows back up. All I know is I'm out here in the country, man. I got 2 big guard dogs, cameras all around. My whole property is gated. All I know, if somebody steals from me, it's gone. I can't make a request and get it back. You know, he's got that kind of pizzazz, man. So that's one of the stories, many stories of Dion that I thought would be kind of hilarious and people would want to hear about.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. That is awesome. You should be able to reach out there because you got that old giraffe neck. You can put your neck all across the fence and just.
hey, like the story about the 3 little bears, man. Goldie, like, more better to see you with, T. More better to see you with.
That's right.
Now, T, now you've never been shy from having that little flat, skillet face either, man. That little pan head of yours with that little teacup chin. Now, come on, you've never been shy there, T. Come on.
There go Rio. There go Rio.
Hey, Joe. Hey, we used to have a good time in that locker room, man. I'm talking about cracking jokes. You know what I mean? Having a great time. I mean, we did have a good time. Now, I wish we would have won more games than we won. Because what we did, T, when we were together now, we won. I remember this plain this day, and I tell this story often. 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. I was with the Cowboys 4 years. My first 3 years, that's what we did. 5-11, 5-11, 5-11. Okay?
That's the Dave Campo years, right?
That was Dave Campo's years, man.
Yeah.
All right. And then he hired Bill Parcells. All right. One of the best freaking coaches to ever lace him up, man, to ever put a whistle around his neck, to ever call a game. He calls Bill Parcells in, and with the same talent, the same guys, we go 11-5, lose in the first round of the playoffs. I tell that story because, yes, it's all about talent. Predominantly, you got to have talent. You need to have talent. If you got talent, it makes your job easier. But if coaches wasn't important, why does every NFL team have coaches? Why does every Major League Baseball program have coaches? Why does every hockey, soccer, every professional sport has coaches? All right, so yes, it's about the talent. You got to have talent, but talent alone is not going to win you the big games. You should win the games you're supposed to with talent. But what about those other games, man, you're not supposed to win, you're not projected to win? Then coaching has to come into play. Discipline has to come into play. The way you run your program and your organization, all that stuff comes into play. So it's not, in my opinion, it's not the most talented team that's going to win the Super Bowl. It's not the most talented team that's going to win the state championship in the state of Texas or Georgia or Florida. Not the most talented, although they may get there. But to me, it's the team with the most discipline. The teams that have some coaches who can make adjustments, not just after the game. Oh, we should have called, we should have checked. No, you make adjustments on the go. You make adjustments during halftime. You make adjustments when you need to. So coaches, in my opinion, are very, very, very important. Now, you have to have talent, and it makes it easier. But if you don't have the talent that everybody else has, you better have some doggone good coaches, and you better have some players that are tough, and more importantly, dudes that will compete. I've seen talented players, man. I'm talking about, but these dudes just won't fight. They won't get into a fight. They won't start a fight. They won't finish a fight. They won't compete. And you only get so much out of them. And I've seen dudes with half the talent of those guys who, man, listen, tell me what I need to do, coach. How can I get better? And my thing is this, Georgia. You don't have to be as talented as George Teague. You don't have to be as talented as JT. All I want from you, young man, is to give me what you got. Max out on your individual potential. If you do that for me, you have no quarrels from me because you're giving me what you got, and that's all any coach can ask for any player.
Very nice.
Yeah, coaches speak. Coaches speak, baby. And I know he don't want to put it out there, but that's almost like he said, hashtag coaches matter. That's the way I took
it. hey, and I will co-sign that, man. You better believe it. Coaches do matter, man. But you get the best out of your players on the level that we're on, T, is when they know you care more about them than just what they can do for you on the grass. I tell my players, I'm like, listen, if I was just a coach who cared about what you could do for me on the grass, and I didn't care anything about what you did in the class, then I'm using you. I'm taking full advantage of you, and I wouldn't be worth my salt, okay? So if I'm going to demand you to give me everything you got, the best potential, all right, max out your potential on the grass, then what do you think I'm going to want from you up there in that classroom? I'm going to want everything you got. Give me be the best you could be in the class too. And if I'm not holding you to that, if I'm not holding you accountable, then I'm doing you a disservice. Okay, so it's two-way streets. You get the most out of them. I think I get the most out of my guys because they do know that. They do know I coach them all the same. You know, when I say the same, it's, hey, just because I made this guy a little tougher or a little harder, maybe it's because he's got a little more to give, and he's not giving it to me. He may feel like I'm not coaching this guy as hard as I coach him. Well, maybe not, because maybe this guy's giving me everything he's got, but what he has ain't enough. It just ain't enough, but he's giving me what he's got, so no need to run him in the ground. But you, on the other hand, you've got more. I need more. Give me more. And once they understand what you want, I have meetings with my guys periodically. They want to talk to me, and they ask me, where do you see me at? What's your plans for me? I say, well, I see you like I see all my other players. I see you competing your butt off, fighting for an opportunity to be a starter. And if you're not a starter, you're fighting your butt off and competing for an opportunity to be a major contributor. Okay? And if you're not that, then you're fighting your butt off to be a special team player. I just see you as a player who's fighting their butt off to be the best player that they can be. Okay? And if you know what I want, because you do understand what I want, don't you? Yes, coach. Well, then give me what you want and you won't have any problems. So that's why I think we were able to go as far as we did this year. From a program that won 2 years, 3 games. That's all they won. Year before last, they won 5 games. And then this year, you go 4 rounds deep in the playoffs. I mean, I think it's spreading and putting together a great coaching staff, understanding what it takes. He's been successful wherever he's been. But at the rate that he's had success here at Rockwall Heath, that's almost unprecedented. And it has a lot to do with coaches who know how to relate to players.
Very nice.
Yes, sir. Well, all right, man. That's been great, man. Why don't you tell people how people can find you if you're active on social media? Give us your little handles so people know how to hit you up and ask you more questions if they need to talk to you about some football. Where we find you at?
Well, man, I'm on Instagram as always. It's Mario Edwards on Instagram. Same thing on Twitter. And Facebook is the exact same thing. It's just my name, and it's senior at the end, and all you have to do is look at the picture. It's a couple of Marios out there, but look at the picture. I'm senior. Send me a request. Send me a whatever you have to do to get me on your line, and me to get on your line. You follow me, I follow you back. And if you got any questions about anything, that's what I'm here for. I mean, I'm here to help. I'm here to give you any part of me that can help you be successful in whatever your endeavors are. If it's coaching, if it's a player, whatever your likes are, I'm pretty sure that I could help you with that or point you in the direction of someone else who can.
Yes, sir.
Awesome, Mario. We appreciate you popping on here with us and spending some time and telling those stories and shooting the breeze with George here. It's been fun just being an audience member here, listening to it. I can tell you guys are good buddies, and it's been a lot of fun. We hope you have time to come back on with us here somewhere down the road.
Well, listen, you guys just give me a heads up and let me know. I would love to come back. I had a hell of a time tonight.
Sounds great. Well, take care, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
There he goes, the great Mario Edwards. We didn't have time to really talk to him about the Bucs Super Bowl win. I'd kind of like to have gotten his thoughts on that, but I'm sure he was happy and he enjoyed all of that. So we're going to take a quick break, boys, and when we come back, it's time for some Money Matters with JT.
ProfoundSites.com for your personal and commercial needs. Websites built, repaired, secured, maintained, and found. Brent Thomas and ProfoundSites.com provide e-commerce development, website development, online marketing, web, mobile, and e-commerce consulting. With over 10 years experience, Profound Sites is responsible for creating GeorgeTeague.com, where you can hear Teague's Take with George Teague every week. Brent Thomas and Profound Sites can take you through the entire pain-free process of building your new website. From initial discussion to planning, design, to coding and making your site live and discoverable on the internet. Contact Brent Thomas at ProfoundSites.com or email him at brent@ProfoundSites.com.
Hey, sports and sports memorabilia fans, this is IndyCar Tim. I want to talk to you about our new friend Chris Gordon over at the Cowboy House, cowboyhousesports.com on the web. Now, Chris is super passionate about all sports, and that's why the Cowboy House is so much more than just a Dallas Cowboys sports memorabilia store. He's got unique game-used memorabilia and rare, hard-to-find autographs for teams across the globe. Everything from the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, golf, UFC, soccer, Olympics, even from Hollywood and the political sector. And his store isn't just a fancy mall store. It's more of a man cave that he likes to share with his friends and customers. Come on into the store at 209 South Shady Shores Drive, Suite 200 in Lake Dallas, and you can walk on the Texas Stadium end zone turf. You can sit in a chair from Yankee Stadium or Texas Rangers Globe Life Park. Check out hundreds of autographed jerseys from hundreds of teams. Check out thousands of photos signed with certificates of authenticity. He's also got custom framing for all of your sports memorabilia items. Chris Gordon over at cowboyhousesports.com, 214-551-5978. Thank you, Cowboy House.
Need a one-stop shop for Cowboys news happening over at the Star in Frisco? Click on over to cowboyssi.com, featuring Mike Fisher with 30 years experience covering America's team. It's the most popular of all Sports Illustrated sites and home to the Cowboys Blitzcast podcast. Cowboyssi.com is the place to get inside your Cowboys. With such a talented team of writers and reporters over there, you'll always know the latest about personnel and roster moves, salary cap issues, and draft class status. Click on over to cowboyssi.com and get the inside scoop on America's team.
3R Sports Graphics. Hello, everybody. You've probably seen the graphics that are out on social media every week that announce the guest for Teague's Take for that week, as well as their credentials listed there on the graphic as well. Those come from our good friend Tyler Sanders over at 3R Sports Graphics. Now, he only works for schools, so we need to mention that. Some of his proud schools are Liberty Christian, Parish Episcopal, Legacy Christian, and Fort Worth Christian. These are custom graphics for your school's athletic department. Hire Tyler Sanders and 3R Sports Graphics, and you will work one-on-one with a graphic designer. You will get final score graphics the night of the game, unlimited graphics with a one-year contract, and you can fulfill the sports information director role of a school, but for a fraction of the cost. And he will handle this for you every week. He puts it out on social media for you as well. He handles that. Give Tyler Sanders a call with 3R Sports Graphics, 713-933-9767, or you can shoot him an email, tsanders2405@gmail.com. Tyler Sanders, 3R Sports Graphics, on Twitter at 3R Sports and the number 1. And check out his Twitter feed. He's got all of the examples. You can scroll through his feed and look at all of the graphics as he's done for everybody. Tyler Sanders, 3R Sports Graphics. Give him a call now. Thank you, Tyler. Hello, everybody. Welcome back into Teague's Take. Again, a special thank you to great Mario Edwards, former Florida State alum, and Cowboys great, Buccaneers great. Got a kid playing in the NFL right now. It sounds like he's got another one on the way, George, from what he said. You're muted.
Dang it. I thought you were controlling that from your end, man. You got to get this together, bro.
I tried to unmute you, but when you mute yourself, I can't unmute you.
Nah, and I didn't get to thank him for another piece that he's so. I mean, you can tell what kind of motivator he is, and what kind of player, father, all that kind of stuff he is. But man, he's really good off the field too.
Right.
It's funny because of our pension plans. We're kind of telling his business a little bit, but we would always be sitting there talking about the market. And he called like, "Man, are you taking a beating like I am?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I am." We sit there and try to figure out how to get our ends right. And he's actually did some stuff for me and the family from a financial standpoint, just to make sure we stayed on track. So
that's awesome. Well, before we get into Money Matters, JT, we have a very special birthday we need to recognize, friend of the show. And this is the rare Alabama/Texas A&M birthday, as the great Gene Stallings turns 80. And yeah, I'm going to refer to him as an A&M great. That's where he played, man. That's where he played. And he coached there too.
He don't claim it, though. He don't claim it.
The great, of course he does. He still wears his Aggie ring, just like Bear did. Coach Gene Stallings, course, your coach, your time at Alabama. Happy birthday, Coach, 86 years old today. What kind of thoughts you have about that, George?
Yes, sir. Happy birthday to him. He's definitely a influential man in my life. Even now, I mean, he still talks about the same stuff we talked about in college. Of course, he pushed us hard. Always wanted to be the players that we could be, but he always talked about family and school, always. And even now, he still always asks, how's your wife? How's your kids? I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. And he remembers everybody's name. It's crazy that he can do that. So I hope that his health is great, and I hope they're doing well up there. And hopefully we'll get him on the show, sooner or later here pretty soon.
Well, that would be fun. That would be a treat for me, especially for sure with the history that my family has with him. But now it's time for some of this.
And now it's time for America's favorite segment, Money Matters with JT.
Got some new music behind this one.
Oh yeah, that was that threw me off a little bit. Well, so I apologize because I'm going to be reading a little bit. So I'm going to get on my soapbox today because we were supposed to talk about this probably it might have been 3 weeks ago now with Urban Meyer and the Chris Doyle hire. But I wanted to go back to the beginning with the Urban Meyer story. He had 6 seasons at Florida where he won 65 games, 2 SEC titles, and 2 national titles. And in those same 6 seasons, he had 31 arrests on his team. Some of which were, things that you would expect college kids to get arrested for: underage drinking, disorderly conduct, and violation of open container laws. But others included things such as aggravated stalking, domestic violence, burglary, larceny, and fraudulent use of credit cards. And most of those cases never went to trial with charges being dropped, or they were pled down to lower offenses. And none of those were actually related to the big fish, Aaron Hernandez, who was questioned in 2007 about a shooting and was recommended to be charged with felony battery against him after a fight at a restaurant. And that case was also not pursued. In 2008, they had 121 players on the roster, 41 of which have been arrested either in college or after, sometimes both. 16 of those were on the 2-deep roster. 9 of those were starters and the punter, kicker, and returner. So for those doing the math, that is 12 starter positions, including specialists. Hernandez was reportedly a regular to Urban Meyer's Bible study at his home. It's even been reported that they had to pull a gun off of Aaron Hernandez at practice on the football field, and they allowed him to continue to practice. All the while, Tebow was a perfect cover for all of this. In 2009, the arrests were so high that the Orlando Sentinel, which is a paper in Orlando that covers the team, decided to host an online database to keep track of all of the arrests. Some other ones of note: Jamar Hornsby had 70 fraudulent charges to a credit card of a dead woman. Ronnie Wilson punched a man, spat on him, opened his trunk, grabbed an AK-47, and opened fire outside of a nightclub. Carlos Dunlap had a DUI before the SEC championship game, and Janoris Jenkins was arrested for resisting arrest. And Chris Rainey, who was a running back at the time, sent his ex-girlfriend a text that read in part that it was time to die. Jenkins was later dismissed by the team after Urban Meyer left because Will Muschamp came in. And as much as we talk about Will Muschamp and him being odd head, he decided that Jenkins was not good enough, or did not deserve to be on the team anymore. And Jenkins was quoted saying, "If Coach Meyer were still here, I'd be playing for the Florida Gators because Coach Meyer knows what it takes to win." This team had Percy Harvin, who choked his receivers coach. He had Aaron Hernandez, Dunlap, Jenkins, Cam Newton, who stole laptops all at the same time, not to mention the accused domestic abuser of Zach Smith, who was a graduate assistant at the time, who Urban made a concerted effort to cover up and then later brought him with him to Ohio State. So then that brings us to his most recent attempt at a hire with Chris Doyle, who was dismissed from Iowa due to allegations of player abuse and racism. One of the players that filed a complaint is still on the roster at the Jacksonville Jaguars. And all of this is to say this hire is on par with who Urban Meyer is as a person. Wherever he goes, scandal follows. He hides behind a wall of a health issue when the scrutiny becomes too much. Notice that he had a health issue as soon as his poster child of Tim Tebow was no longer there to hold the heat back of all the arrests. And former players have also said that his locker rooms were out of control. He was then at Ohio State suspended, of course, with pay for 3 games after the whole Zach Smith thing came to light. And shortly after his suspension at the end of the season, he had more health issues that caused him to step away from the sport. And now he is back. So all of this has led me to believe that it's easier to get a job in the NFL if you have a history of harboring criminals, domestic abusers, and racists than if you're black. And Urban Meyer and Chris Doyle are shining examples of this. So that's all I have to say. I was not looking for extra opinions today, but there you go. Urban Meyer is not someone who I would bring into my program. He has shown time and time again that he is not a leader, and he's not an ethical leader, and he is not somebody that should be holding a position of power. And because of that, I do not believe that he should be the head of any football team at any level.
Agree 100%.
Man, now that's what you call a Teagues take right there, baby. That's what you talk, man. It's great stuff. You know, it is kind of, I mean, I know you kind of wrapped it up and summed it up there at the end. And, you know, I don't know, there's much that we need to say about that. The history and the data that you got just shows, you know, what's around them. And it will be interesting to see what his first off season will look like. I got my players hat on because typically, not right now, but after he has a full year and then maybe things get back to normal a little bit, we'll see how those guys start acting in an off season, because that's when it typically starts happening, right? When they start doing crazy stuff. So
I just wonder if somewhere there's I'm not a betting man. I don't gamble. You know, we talk about it on one of our shows quite a bit, but I don't know that much about it. I don't get into it, but I wonder if there's somewhere where you could place a bet on the over under on how many seasons he lasts in Jacksonville, you know,
and it's got to be up there somewhere.
What that over under would be, you know, is it 2.5 years? 3?
I got 3.5. If I had a line, it'd be 3.5.
And then what would you take? Under or over? Under? Man, I'm kind of leaning the same way. Things start to go south for him, and I said this on our Dallas Cowboys Blitzcast podcast when he was named the head coach. You know, if things go bad for him quick and early, man, he's out. Like, you know, our buddy Craig said he's going to fake a heart attack or something, and you know, that's what he does. That's his history, and I don't see this stop being any different.
So you think it'll be based upon wins and losses, or some other off the field stuff?
All of it. Well, if he's winning, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about off the field issues. Clearly,
clearly he doesn't. Because you know this is 3 times now that he has vouched for somebody's character, which is something that should mean absolutely nothing to anybody. He's vouched for Aaron Hernandez's character. He vouched for because he said that him and his wife had actually counseled Aaron Hernandez. And then he said that he had counseled Zach Smith, and then he vouched for Chris Doyle's character, saying we vetted him and basically he didn't do nothing wrong. And the backlash from even Jacksonville fans, much like Tennessee did when Greg Schiano was reportedly being hired to be the head coach,
Right.
caused not Urban Meyer to say, never mind, we're not going to hire him. Chris Doyle himself was like, okay, maybe I shouldn't come into the program. And, you know, it's funny how Jacksonville works because they went with, they brought in Tom Coughlin to be like the super militant, you got to do things my way, super disciplined. That didn't work out. So then they went with Doug Marrone, who was supposed to be kind of somewhere in the middle. And now they just went with the Wild West that is Urban Meyer. Just let them do whatever they want to. Just hope that they win games. So it would not surprise me if you find things like allegations like Ben Roethlisberger that comes out from somebody in Jacksonville, or you have a situation with Richie Incognito and I can't remember the lineman's name from Stanford, but if you starting to see more things like that in Jacksonville, coupled with the fact that Jacksonville is just not a very good team anyway. So, I don't see them winning very many games this year. I don't see him really turning it around next year. And then if they're having all kinds of offseason problems, I don't know that he makes it a third year, not because they fire him, but more because he quits.
Yeah.
Okay. All
I
right.
think that ownership, it's going to take a lot for that ownership group to actually fire him just because of all it took to get him there. It's way more likely he just, you know what, I'm done. I quit. Like, I'm not doing it anymore. Oh, I'm coming to see you.
Stop. Oh, well, all right. Well, that's good. And I want to. Is it okay if I switch topics on you? Because
Yeah, let's do it.
he kind of hit my mind here a little bit because he said something about the Wild Wild West. It was making me think of those football teams out west that are. I know there's some on the other side of the country too, but
There's a lot on the other side of the country. It ain't just
Yeah,
out
no.
west.
I know. I always think of California and what they got going on and what their rules are and all that kind of stuff. So, with the FCS just playing this spring football, I was just kind of doing a little bit of research. And I don't know how much you guys know about this stuff as far as getting to their championship, right? They got 10 different conferences. I guess no, more than that. No, is that right? 10 that are playing.
I know
All
all about the FCS. That's where I played.
Yeah, so we're talking about our playoff system, the bigger, the FBS. How are they really going to pull this thing off, man, to try to get this championship when you got some 4 teams playing one conference, 5 in another, 11 in another?
Well, it's easy because it's the same thing I've been saying. They have automatic qualifiers. If you win your conference, you go to the playoffs. Well, unless you're in the Pioneer League up until recently, the league that I played in, you had to be an at-large. We were a group of 5 kind of deal. But now they have an automatic bid. But it's the same thing. You win your conference, no matter how many games you play, you go in. There's like 28 teams that are in there.
Yeah, but what about the at-larges? There's only 10 champions for 16 spots. You still got to figure out the other 6 and the at-large spots this year. How are they going to do that when some people are playing 4 games and some people are playing 8 or 6 or whatever it is? I mean,
I think if at least if I remember correctly, it's kind of the same way that TAPS does their thing with wins and having points, and they just kind of tally those up and say, these wins are more impressive than other wins. You mean participation trophies, Craig? The whole FBS is a participation trophy. All you have to do is just show up and win a few games, and you get to go to the playoffs. I don't want to hear nothing about no participation trophies.
All right. So are one of y'all going to be bold enough to say that Dion is going to win his conference?
He's not going to win his conference.
I don't even know who's in his conference.
I don't either, but he ain't going to win it.
All I know is, I got the notification that Dion won his first game, and I was like, I wonder who they played. And then I was like, oh, yeah, of course they won.
They play a high school team?
NAIA.
Oh,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So he better have won. Can you imagine if he lost? By the way, you guys
Right.
saw who showed up to congratulate him on his first win. Who was there at the game?
Who?
Troy Aikman was there.
Oh, okay.
Which from what I hear in my time in the media in the mid '90s and late '90s, back when they were both still playing, they didn't have the greatest of relationship when they were teammates. So, apparently since retirement, they've gotten old and been nice to each other again. But I thought that was pretty cool that Troy showed up and walked in his office and gave him a big hug and said congratulations.
Oh, that's good, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I never saw anything.
They beat a school called Edward Waters. I will give you 2 guesses on what state that's even in.
It's got to be Alabama.
Nope.
No.
Tennessee.
I forgot. I looked it up because the coach got fired after the game.
After the game? Because you lost to Dion?
Yes.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you looked it up and you still don't remember what state it's in.
Is it Florida?
Yeah, it's Florida.
Florida?
Florida.
Yeah. So
I didn't even know they had a football team. I didn't even know it was a school.
What's their mascot?
Looks like a tiger.
Water fountain.
Dude, okay, hold on. Can
water bottle?
Can we wait? Can I share my screen or something? Y'all need to see this.
Yeah.
This is absolutely ridiculous. Hold on. I got to get back to the picture.
You can share a screen on this thing? I missed that button.
Okay, hold on. Let me. Oh, I don't know.
He told you to watch it. Why is Craig telling you to watch it? What'd you say, Tim? I must have missed it. Craig told you to watch it, Tim.
Right, Matt, because I said it was in Alabama.
Oh. Yeah, you're probably right. But
all right, look at this picture. This is the football team they played. Look at this dude. Look at him. This is a high school team.
Quit, man.
They shut these guys out. I mean, come on.
What was the score?
We can go 53 to nothing.
Oh, that's why he got fired. My arms are bigger than that dude's arms.
Well, I'm pretty sure. So what do you guys think? How much did Jackson State have to pay them to play?
Jackson State has money left?
No,
I thought they gave it all to Dion.
Well, they didn't have a gate, right? I mean, they're working hands.
If they got him, if they convinced these guys to play,
$50,000.
Yeah, it can't be that much.
You don't think?
Oh no, I meant like that much, as in it ain't like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like
right. I mean, like $50,000.
They had to travel
plus travel expenses.
I mean,
got to put them up at the Motel 6 in Jackson.
They got good food out there in Jackson too. It's a good barbecue. Dion's showing you all the great stuff they got out there in Jackson, so you need to quit.
Dion. Hey, what's the over under for Dion? How many seasons he lasts out there?
I meant to ask Rio. That's why I got to get it back on. I guess I have to offline because I was really wondering how long before Dion ends up at Florida State.
I guess that depends on his performance, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but they're playing. You didn't look up their schedule, right? I think they're playing Alabama A&M.
Yeah, they got Grambling State, Mississippi Valley State, Alabama State, Prairie View, Southern, Alabama A&M, Alcorn, and then the SWAC conference championship if they make it. Oh, and they've already beat Alcorn State because that game went down as a forfeit. So there you go.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Already 2-0.
I don't know how good Grambling is anymore. I guess Southern might be the biggest. Is Southern still the number one team in that?
Doug Williams isn't still at Grambling, right? He quit a while back.
Yeah, Greg Williams retired.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I think it could be a possibility. He's got some good recruits in there. Got his boys playing. So,
So what's more likely to happen? Are his kids going to play pro, or are they just going to coach with them? I think they're. I haven't seen any of them play. Are they good? Are they good, or are they just good because they're with their dad?
Well, I mean, I got to see Shador play.
Yeah, Shador had scholarships everywhere. So I mean, I guess at least one of them pretty good.
All right.
Yes.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, we just see how they develop and how it looks, and if he keeps stealing some recruits every now and again, I don't know. Maybe he turns it into something good.
I don't
But
think
anyway,
his next stop is going to be Florida State, though. I think he's going to have to make one more before
Edward
Florida
Waters.
State.
You're gonna go to Edward Waters, coach the Tigers.
move to another. What's up from Jackson State?
Any
Anything?
group of five, yeah, almost anything.
Except for Edward Waters.
He's got to go. Well, where is he? He ain't going to no cold place. So
Auburn. He'll go coach Auburn.
no, he get run out of Auburn.
Because he's an FSU guy.
I could see him taking some kind of something in Conference USA or the Sun Belt or something first.
We'll go coach McNeese State.
He can end up at Houston or something like that.
Yeah.
First. Then make the league. Louisville. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Whatever's going to be, they're still going to have to bring up a big truck of money, and they're going to have to bring Under Armour uniforms. They're going to have to switch, so he's going to have to find a.
Oh, well, if they're going to have to switch, then he's definitely going to Auburn. They already got the Under Armour uniforms. They're terrible.
That's true. I'd rather see him go to South Carolina or something. Don't mess them dudes up.
You want him in the SEC? I don't think he could coach in the SEC.
He needs to get to FSU because FSU is bad.
Yeah.
Really, really bad right now. So, anyway, I just thought it was interesting. It's going to be fun to watch these guys. I know they're going to have the tournament back out here in Frisco, Texas again. I guess they're still going to play the game here. So, do you guys even watch the games? I'm just curious. Do y'all even really watching the stuff now? What's going on, or you kind of moved on to basketball?
I moved on to college basketball, because Alabama's good now.
Roll Tide.
I've been watching them. But I also did forget that the FCS was playing at the time until I got the notification saying that North Dakota State lost. And I was like, oh, shoot, I should have watched that.
Oh, that guy drove too, man.
Yeah, that was ugly.
That guy drove. Okay, hold on. JT, you got to tell your story about Tim and A&M being the.
I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong.
No, he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't wrong. He did. Yeah, so Tim sent the text message saying that we said that A&M was never going to win a SEC championship, and
I said it happened.
And it happened. And it was, I don't know, it was probably 10:30. I was laying in bed and I was like, "What? I wonder what sport he's talking about, because it surely wasn't basketball." Because
kind of
spoiler, Alabama picked up that one too. But then he reminded us that it was women's basketball. So congratulations to
first title in the 9 years they've been in the SEC. You got to start somewhere.
Well, right. They are. Their women's basketball team has always been pretty good.
Championships. That's what we're doing. Building champions in college station, one sport at a time. All right. Hey, did you see the preseason ranking for A&M?
What?
What is it? 6?
Number 4.
4.
Oh, number
That's
4.
too high.
Yeah, until they go out, they'll be 4 until they go out there at Vanderbilt again.
Well,
and
the first
win
game,
by 3.
Just let us have it until the season starts.
Who they open up with?
I hadn't even.
Ooh, let's find out.
But hey, I had 24 hours to celebrate my SEC championship. I ordered my hat, ordered my shirt. Can't name one player that plays for women's basketball at A&M, but I ordered my shirt.
He said he didn't know bull riding was a college sport.
They opened the season September 4th with Kent State.
Oh, that's a loss.
I was gonna say y'all might want to watch out.
Oh gosh, what year is this for Jimbo now?
3?
4?
It's been that long?
Yeah, it'll be his first season without Kellen. He'll actually have a real quarterback, hopefully. Got a couple of them to pick from.
Okay.
You better stop hating on Kellen Moore.
Yeah, we need to have a whole segment on that, on the draft and whether or not he gets
If Kellen Moore played every year like he did his senior year, they'd have had a national title in there somewhere.
Does he go before Mac Jones?
No.
Kellen Moore should go at all.
Does he go before the 4th round?
Kellen Moore, no.
Sixth
Mac-
round?
You mean Kellen Mond? Kellen Moore
Did I
is
say
on
Kellen Moore?
Sorry, my bad. My bad. They both play the same.
Pepper must be spiked or something.
Yeah, I think you made me say it. I'm my Diet Coke.
Yeah, I know. Kellen Mond, dude, if he gets drafted, it's going to be 6 or 7. If anybody.
Right. Well, maybe one of these shows we'll come back and we'll pick who we think going to win some of these conferences for FCS. That'll be kind of fun just to have and review it.
Craig's about to get banned from the broadcast next week here. You need to tread lightly there, Craig. You watch what you say. I have the power to ban people from this thing.
Yeah. No slandering the women like that.
Well, make sure we make picks for the Pioneer League and the Patriot League.
There we go.
Are you gonna pick Drake and Lehigh or who's in the Pioneer League?
I don't think Lehigh is very good anymore. But Lehigh is in the Patriot League. That was pretty good that you pulled that one out. And I guess we could do Colonial too. We get all those northeastern things up there.
Colonial. I'm taking William Mary because of Donovan Lester.
Okay.
Right. He's gonna turn it up. We got Donovan Lester play for us at JP2. He's the starting running back as a sophomore. He's gonna be the man. He's gonna do some big things for them. But that'll be fun to go through that. Well, we might have to have a special one about that. But anyway, just kind of going on. Let's we can start wrapping this thing up. I gotta get out of this guy's office. Put out there what the heck I'm doing.
Jason Witten's gonna come in and kick George's butt right on the camera here. We want to thank everybody that's been a part of this one, especially the great Mario Edwards, former Cowboy, former Buck. I didn't say former Dolphin because he was only on the practice squad, so I didn't. You guys that were on the practice squad, you don't like when I mention those teams because you didn't actually play for them, so I usually leave those out. But great player at Florida State, not Florida Atlantic. That was almost a terrible mistake on my part. We won't get into that, but we want to thank all of our great sponsors here on Teague's Take. Of course, CowboysSI.com, the Maverick Bar, Repair Resource, Profound Sites. Make sure you go check out all of those great sponsors. Use their services. If you're here locally in DFW, by the way, the Maverick Bar, 1616 West Hebron Parkway in Carrollton, 16 minutes from just about anywhere in DFW. And they've got the greatest burgers, the greatest drinks, greatest entertainment on the weekends. Let's go check those boys out at themaverickbar.com. So next week, who's our guest next week, George?
Man, see, you trying to put me on the spot like that. Why you want to do me like that, man?
You're supposed to know.
Oh, we've already had him on the show as an analyst. Kenny Stills, Sr. is going to be on as a guest this time. So
awesome.
Yeah, it'll be good to talk about that and talk a little bit of Packers and NFL. He's going to want to talk some really, really good football with us. So we can dive in deep with him and get some. He's got a lot of opinions. We definitely need to get with him and talk to him about his opinions.
All right. Well,
we can ask him about his opinions on the Patriot and Colonial League.
Do you think he has any?
Well, he's in Florida, so maybe we're gonna ask him about that Edward Waters school and see if he knows what it is.
Yeah, don't tell him though. Just spring it on him and see if he even knows where it's at.
Well,
that's predictions for the Edward Waters upcoming football season.
Yeah, because he coaches high school football down there, so we need to see if he's sending any of his players to Edward Waters.
The Tigers. Legendary program at Edward Waters. All right,
Waters alone, man.
I know we're gonna get sued by Edward Waters.
I guarantee
all $6.
Edward Waters does not get this much airtime on any other podcast. Okay, I'm telling you right now. All right, boys. I thank everybody once again. Make sure you tune in next week, Tuesday night, 8 p.m. on the Teague's Take family of social media sites: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Check us all out on Twitter. Go to georgeteague.com to check out who the upcoming guests are, because we apparently have to do that too. So be just like us. And all of the news, the awesomely written articles by JT over there on the blog. And you need to post another one of those, by the way, JT.
I do. I probably should have.
Article coming up.
You know, maybe I should dissolve my notes on Urban Meyer and put that up on there.
There you go.
Good. That would be good.
I smell a new fresh article coming up. All right, guys. Until next week, it's been fun. We'll talk to you then.
New Hank.